We're going to talk to an expert now on India business reforms and join Peter Kohli. He's the CEO of DMS Funds. Welcome to the show. Peter, I want to ask you, these reforms in India that everyone's talking about with the Prime Minister, I mean, there was a lot of hoopla. The market was spiking up prior to, as the elect. Has it reached the expectations that we all thought they would be?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back. No, not yet. I mean, it's only really been about 4 months since he's been in power, so we have to give him a time because the bureaucracy is so entrenched in India that it's going to take time to sort of to move away from that, because a lot of the planning that was done in India was done based on the Soviet-style central planning, and he's breaking that up, and it's going to take some time. But you know, I won't underestimate him at all. I just got back from India, and it's just superb out there.
I mean, you know, in talking to Jess earlier, I mean, I am surprised the amount of work that's being done on the sidelines. I mean, there is an awful lot happening, and certainly if you're a close watcher of India, you have to be somewhat impressed. U.S.-India relations, where does that stand right now?
Well, I think there are a lot of fence mending to be done because for a considerable amount of time, Mr. Modi was not even allowed to get a visa to come to this country. In fact, he wanted to come here at one point to give a talk. I believe it was at the University of Pennsylvania, and he was blocked from that. So there's certainly bad blood. And then obviously when you had mentioned a little earlier about the Indian diplomat that had been arrested. So is it repairable? Absolutely, absolutely. Because I mean, the two largest democracies in the world need to work together. And I think both leaders understand that.
What needs to be done in the next, say, 5 years? I mean, are these structural improvements that so many people and analysts have been talking about? What needs to be done?
Okay, are you talking from a corporate level or from an infrastructure? I'm sorry.
Corporate and political level.
Are we talking? Okay. Well, from a political level, obviously the bureaucracy is the biggest hindrance to companies opening there and maintaining offices there and doing business in general. And so the Indian government is going to make sure that that bureaucracy is sort of taken down and is not an impediment to foreign investment. On the political side, I think years and years and years of corruption. Corruption in India is endemic. In fact, there's a joke that at one point it became a cost of doing business in India. But he is somebody who is very, very against any level of corruption. And in fact, I think he chastised one of his people in his administration for giving or accepting a small gift from a journalist. So he will not tolerate it, which is refreshing. It's very refreshing.
I guess from an international perspective, and I want to be respectful of the efforts that have taken place, but a lot of people have said that it's been just a lot of talk, and we still haven't seen action yet. And I am trying to visualize, what does action look like? Okay,
well, action looks like the fact that he went to Japan. And it was interesting that was one of the first countries that he went to, and they've promised an investment of $35 billion in helping them build bullet trains. Then the Chinese premier came to India, and they've promised to invest in the infrastructure. So you know, the talk seems to be over here. Action seems to be being done with India's most, I guess, largest trading partners, which are China and Japan. So I think it's going in the right direction. In fact, I know it is.
I mean, we've spoken a lot about the impact on India, obviously, for the economy and on the political sector. But what about for the folks here in the United States? I mean, he's in here in America. I mean, what's in it for Washington?
Well, I think that one of the things that hasn't really been touched upon that much, and that is that there are, I can't remember the number, but tens of thousands of Indians living in America. And in fact, I saw a statistic once that said they're the most affluent group in the US. And so they are, if you think about it, a huge electoral voting bloc. So they will be courted by both sides of the aisle. So there's something that cannot be neglected. Plus, the other thing is that, I mean, at Madison Square Garden, I mean, what, 20,000 people saw him there, and in Central Park, 60,000. I mean, he has rock star status right now, and he should be able to leverage that, and it will be very, very helpful to this country as well.
Peter, I'm going to use that again. Rock star status. I like that. You're referring to, of course, the event in New York City. Peter, thank you very much. Great to see you.
Right.
Thank you very much for coming back on again.